Thank you guys for joining us for another interview with Philanthropy at its best. Thank you guys for joining King Solomon Entertainment. Appreciate all the love and support. We want to welcome you to another great interview we have today. Philanthropy at its best, humanitarian, where we celebrate, we honor nonprofit foundations, organizations, and philanthropists who are changing lives one person at a time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another interview with King Solomon Entertainment Company, where we are an entertainment company and media outlet that covers wonderful topics and wonderful a range of industry topics, sports, arts, culture, pop culture, entertainment, and we're so wonderful to have the programming that we have on this entertainment media company. Philanthropy at its best, Hollywood Now, viral videos, as well as KS News. Today we with another wonderful organization, philanthropist organization, nonprofit organization. So happy to have them on today. Really bringing them in as soon as we see them come up, giving people time to come in. Thank you so much for joining us for another interview with Philanthropy at its best. We want to thank our partners and our sponsors. Without them, we could not do what we do. HeartToHeartForYou.org, who's also donated 100 pair of shoes to our subscribers, and we will be giving them out over weeks to come to subscribers. Make sure you subscribe. Men, women, and children's shoes. And we're just happy for our partners and sponsors that are partnering with us and making this happen. USC Black Alumni, wonderful, wonderful partner of ours from the very beginning, support everything that we do. The Moreland Greenwood Foundation, and the Pioneer Credit with Dr. Marlon Hester. Pioneer Credit, restore your credit, and definitely reach out, mention our name, and you can get the King Solomon discount. So we appreciate him for partnering with us. If you want to support this media outlet directly, please. We are on Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle, King Solomon Entertainment Company. Please, if you want to connect with us, partner with us, please reach out. KingSolomonEntertainment.tv, KingSolomon Entertainment, spelled all the way out, .tv. Please connect with us, partner with us, and we can move forward. We're so happy to have the guests that we are having today. And make sure you guys tune in for tomorrow's special announcement. We're going to bring in our guests, and we're going to start the interview, Philanthropy at its best. We appreciate you guys. Give us a second. Bring our guests in. We are so happy to have our guests today. So happy. And we'll start the interview as soon as you come in. Hey! How's it going? I'm just low. We're here with the Black Man Can organization today. We're so excited to have you, brother Brandon Frame. Organization about positivity, about black brothers' image, black men image, self-image. We're so happy to have you today, brother. And thank you so much for joining us. Please introduce yourself.
Just Brandon Frame, founder of the Black Man Can, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to just come on your platform and share a little bit about the work that we're doing. So thank you.
Yes, so of course, thank you guys for joining another interview with Philanthropy at its best, where we honor and celebrate humanitarianism. Philanthropy, nonprofit organization foundations, also with a Hollywood star power dynamic to it, because we cover theirs as well. We are so elated to have the Black Man Can, because we've been hearing so much about you. You know, it's been a minute since I've been trying to get you on. You are so busy yourself. And so one of the things I definitely want to ask you, how important is it that our black brothers, young and old, see positive images of themselves?
I mean, it's so important for a variety of reasons. A few that come just to the top of the mind as we talk is so that we know that we're not monolithic and that we operate in so many different places and places, that we're making remarkable contributions, so that black men don't feel like they're in an island by themselves in the work that they're doing and the excellence that they're trying to pursue, and that you can connect. And one thing that's important is to see like all the work that's happening, so you can be inspired as well. And then I think a piece of that as well is just you see the human side of Black men that we don't often get portrayed. So that's important as well.
So when you said once we observe it, then it's our obligation to do something about it. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. So you said once we make an observation.
Then
Yeah.
it's our obligation. Yeah.
One of the quotes that I live by, and the work inspires the work that I do, is that once you make an observation, you have an obligation. So, an observation that Black men and boys need to see positive images of themselves and need to have their stories told, and so therefore, I had an obligation to create it. And so, in April of 2010, we launched the Black Men Can, and over the last 10 years, we've just been doing the work to amplify, create stories of what Black men and boys can do. We make sure that we celebrate, educate, inspire Black men and boys. We're the positive contradiction to the prevailing Black male image of today. And so we've just been doing that work over the last 10 years.
So name some of the things that you do with the people that are part of your organization. What are some of the activities or some of the affirmations and stuff that you guys do?
We have a variety of different activities. A lot of times people don't necessarily know that the Black Men Can is also a nonprofit organization. And so we have programs inside of schools across the country. We work with nonprofits and municipalities to do conferences for young men in different cities across the country. We have the Black Men Can Awards, which is our annual award celebration, celebrating Black men and boys. We have the Black Men Can Does Hair Too, which is our father and daughter event to create opportunities for dads and daughters to bond through doing hair. We have the My First Tie project, which is tied to a children's book that we have called My First Tie. And so we work with schools and allow for kids K through 5 to get positive lessons, see a positive Black male character, and also learn how to tie a tie. So we're just kind of like multifaceted and have a lot of different activities, a lot of different programs that we do out of schools across the country, as well as making sure that we create and amplify content that speaks to our mission and vision.
How are you implementing all of the social things that's happening in the climate of our country right now? What are you doing in your program to kind of reflect that, and how are you like redirecting that, although you are an organization of positivity, but with so much pessimistic around them and negative around them, how do you rearticulate that in your organization?
I think a big piece of that is just making sure that we develop the positive relationships. Right now, we're doing a lot of stuff virtually. Also, just when you're creating things virtually, just thinking about the different innovative ways to make sure that you keep engagement high and make the content entertaining as well as education. So I think I'd like to say edutainment. So kind of bringing that together. And so it's been an amazing time over this time to think innovatively around ways that we bring our message and our mission and vision forward.
So in your bio, you mentioned defining a redefinition of self. So give me an example of how you're doing that as far as how you redefine oneself.
So we have a journal that the young men receive at our summits as well as in our programs, which is Defining Yourself, Redefining the World. And so what we're doing there is helping young men really see their self-awareness and their social awareness, right, and learning about these different competencies around social emotional learning. But then being able to actually take that, learn these skills, and then apply it to themselves so that they can then go out and redefine the world. So if you want to first figure out who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you special, and that you belong at the table, that you lead the table. Once we do that, then you go out into the world so that you can redefine the world.
You've been around, like you said, since 2010, and your organization is award-winning, is definitely recognized throughout the Atlanta, and I know you from the East Coast, and it's getting recognition. So give me a couple of examples of your success stories that you have had in the last 10 years with people that come through your program.
There's so many. Like I think about when we released the children's book, and I met a young man who came forth and said, you know, I now know I can be an author because I met you, and so now I can do the same thing. Or we were in, I think it was Delaware, and we ran into some young men who had attended one of our summits. And you know, at the summit, we teach all the young men how to tie ties. And so it was, so one thing that we always say is you have to pay it forward. And so young men had to go and, you know, pay it forward. So this was like when I ran into this young man, this was like maybe 6 months after our actual summit. And he said, you know, hey, you're Mr. Black Man Can. I said, yeah. And he said, you know, after the summit, you know, I went home and I paid it forward with the tie. And I said, so who did you teach how to tie a tie? And he said, I taught my dad how to tie a tie. You know, so, like, these are just some of the you know, two stories right there. All the amazing messages that we receive via Instagram or emails, and then just people like one person-to-person communication, and just how impactful or how grateful or thankful that they get to see these images, these narratives, these stories, or have the opportunity to attend our program. It's really good, and it is all just a reminder to continue to do the work.
No, thank you so much for all the wonderful stuff that you're doing and how you are continuing to be a pillar and a positive force in, you know, in our community, because it's very important that we continue to see these images and these demonstrations of positivity in, you know, among Black men in the Black community. You guys are joining another interview with Philanthropy at its Best, where we honor and celebrate humanitarianism and philanthropy work. Today we're here with Brandon Frame from the Black Man Can, a wonderful organization about positive images, about positive Black men, young Black boys, and the connection that they make from, you know, generation to generation. Now, give me an example of, you just gave me a perfect one from how it came full circle from a kid teaching his father how to tie a tie. But have you seen the climate change as far as father-son interaction and you know, fathers bringing their boys, you know, because it's kind of like the narrative that the father's absentee. I know you very keen. I see a lot of images of the father and son, fathers with their families, you know. So how is that impact happening?
I mean, I think, you know, at some of our summits and the work that we do, we have dads who come with their sons and attend the conference together. And I think it's really important to note, like, just using the CDC, we published, you know, roughly 2 years ago, that Black fathers are the most active fathers, right? And so that's the narrative that we do have to portray. It's a narrative that we have to show, that Black dads are active, Black dads are engaged, and it's important as an organization that we promote that.
No, that's amazing. Everything I see as far as the imaging is just wonderful stories and wonderful images of Black family. I think that's very important, the re-strengthening of Black family. But where do you see the organization moving towards? Like, I know it started off with Black male imaging, but it seemed to me it has grown to be so much more. What is your goal in the future for the Black Man Can organization?
I think right now, I mean, we're looking at, you know, what we can do maybe around in the technology space. We're going to continue to grow our merchandise business to continue to push the mission and movement forward, and then also really taking a look into the original content that we can create alongside other content that we amplify.
Yes. So please let people know, how can they help the organization? How can they get involved? How can they make a difference along with what you're doing?
We can continue to spread the word about our organization and the work that we're doing. But you can also donate to the Black Man Can at www.theblackmancan.org. You can purchase merchandise from the Black Man Can, www.theblackmancan.com. So I think those are just some ways to be involved. Continue to spread the word, tell people about the work that we're doing. And then you can buy merchandise or you can donate to the organization. It is a tax write-off because we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Well, brother, I want to thank you so much. This is Philanthropy at its Best, where we celebrate humanitarianism. We're here with the Black Man Can, Brandon Frame, doing wonderful work, the CEO, president, and founder of the organization, who are affirming Black male images, positivity, the unity of restoring the Black family. This growing to be endless possibilities of what can actually transpire in the Black family. And so we definitely want to end with you clearing up any misconception. What is one thing that you want people to know, our audience to know about the Black Man Can, that they probably don't, that you want them to know before we end this interview?
First, I just want to say thank you to you for, having me come on. I know we were going back and forth around dates and stuff, so I just appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to come on your platform. It's an honor to be able to share. And really, when it comes to the Black Man Can, I mean, I don't really think there's any misconceptions. I think it's really like what we are about is pretty clear and evident. And it's important that we create and amplify. It's important that we showcase these positive images and tell these narratives and these stories. And we're always going to do our best to make sure that we honor that and make sure that we honor Black men and the places that we walk in. We're going to make sure that we do our best to hold Black men accountable for their actions as well. And we're going to make sure that we always uplift and celebrate, amplify Black women as well. That's really important that we do as an organization. Like there is no Black man without the Black woman, and so it's really important as an organization that we make sure that we honor them. And one way to honor them is make sure that you not only amplify and support and hear their voices, but we also make sure that we hold men accountable for their actions. And that way we can work together and be lock and step. Because if we haven't learned anything, that Black men and Black women need each other. And so if we work together hand in hand, we're able to move our mission and vision forward for our communities. Not just about moving Black men forward, but we move our communities forward, we move our society forward. And so it's important that we do that.
Yeah, it's so needed because it's so real because when what we living in today, it's like you are. I see you as someone who's on the cutting edge because when I hear about your work, and then you hear something like the Jacob Blake case, and he had his children with him, he had his children with him, and when I see everything that your imaging is, the father with the kid, the father with the kid, the father with the Black woman, and it's like he had his children with him, and so it's I think it's coming full circle, you know what I'm saying, and just your work is really, really reaching a lot of people. You've been showing that, we've been living that, and it mirrors life, and you just keep doing what you're doing, brother, and I thank you so much. I'm so happy to add you to our wonderful honorary nonprofit organization foundation that's doing wonderful work that's changing lives one person at a time, and that's what you're doing, brother, so keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much for finally coming on, and definitely like, subscribe, and share, and thank you guys so much, man. Reach out, donate, help, get involved. Wonderful organization. Thank you so much, Brandon. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, brother. Next time, okay? All right.
Thank you.
All right. More house.